What's up, Brian Tong here, and yes, this is the final preview for Apple's fall iPhone 17 and Apple Watch event and everything we know. This is going into the official announcement this Tuesday, September the 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time at Apple Park in Cupertino. And yes, I will be on the ground and on site to give you all the coverage your little hearts or wallets desire. Now, things haven't changed too much with all the rumors and reports that we've had, so let's jump into it, and we start with the iPhone 17 lineup, and a lot of you might already know most of this by now. So here's a look at the expected iPhone 17 lineup from left to right, and let's start from the left with the 17. We'll get to the 17 Air and work our way up to the 17 Pros. Now, the iPhone 17 is always the entry point, and if you're looking for a new design here, you won't get it. It looks a whole lot like the iPhone 16, which means it's near identical, but its display will reportedly increase to 6.3 inches, up from the previous 6.1 inches. That will be the same size as the current 16 Pro, which is also the size that's expected for the 17 Pro. Now, there is no Plus model, it's completely gone, and the new ultra slim iPhone 17 Air will take its place. The iPhone 17 camera gets no change. There have been reports that the dynamic island might get smaller, but other reports say it will remain the same size as before. The 17 will reportedly be using the same OLED display as the current iPhone 16 Pro models, with a 30% increase in brightness. This will also be the first year we expect to see the 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate come to non-Pro models with the 17 and 17 Air. Finally. Now, all iPhone models will use low-temperature polycrystalline oxide panels, or LTPO panels, which helps enable ProMotion thanks to better power efficiency. iPhone 17 is expected to get an A19 chip built on an upgraded 3nm process, and the Pros will get an A19 Pro, and then the 17 Air will possibly get an A19 Pro with one less GPU core. The iPhone 17 will come with only 8 gigs of RAM, while the 17 Pro, 17 Pro Max, and 17 Air are expected to have 12 gigs on board. Reports also say more countries outside of the US will not have a physical SIM card slot anymore with the new iPhone 17 lineup. The 17 Air is expected to go without one entirely because it's too thin. Now, Apple's first custom Wi-Fi chip with Wi-Fi 7 is coming to all 4 iPhone 17 models. Bluetooth 5.3 will reportedly also be on the new iPhone. Apple's own chip design could bring additional power efficiency and connectivity improvements. Reports also claim Apple might support 25 watts wireless charging on their new iPhone 17 lineup with the new Qi 2.2 wireless charging standard as well. On to the cameras now, and the iPhone 17 will have the same dual lens system with a 48 megapixel wide and 48 megapixel ultra wide camera. All iPhone 17 series cameras are rumored to have a upgraded 24 megapixel front facing camera. Now, color wise, the iPhone 17 is expected to come in black and white, steel gray, which is a twist on space gray, green and purple if you like some of that flavor, and a new light blue. So I like those colors. Now, the iPhone 17 is expected to start at $799. So very incremental upgrades to the entry-level iPhone 17. I repeat, very, but depending on where you are in your upgrade cycle, it could be a big jump for you. Okay, next up, the rumored iPhone 17 Air, and maybe the iPhone with the most intrigue going into the event, if that's actually the name of it. The Plus model is out, and the 17 Air is in, making it the most significant redesign to the iPhone in years. This ultra slim phone that will be around 5.5 to 6 millimeters thick at its slimmest point, that's not including its camera bump. This would be Apple's thinnest phone ever, and the iPhone 6 previously held that title at 6.9 millimeters. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Edge released earlier this year, and that has a thickness of 5.8 millimeters, so we'll see what Apple does. They might use a titanium aluminum frame with their Air to keep it lightweight while still making sure it's bend resistant. You know, I can't wait for the bend test videos because we've never seen that before. Okay, the iPhone 17 Air will also have a 6.6-inch display, which puts it right between the iPhone 17 and the 17 Pro Max in size. It will have a single-lens 48-megapixel rear camera, and reports believe it will have a camera bar similar to the Google Pixel's most iconic design feature. You know, it's weird when Apple is taking design cues from other companies when they used to be the one that everyone was copying. I'm just saying. The 17 Air will have a 120Hz ProMotion display. It will also feature Apple's C1 5G modem. There are reports that it will either have an A19 or A19 Pro chip inside, maybe with one less GPU core with Wi-Fi 7. Plus, the Air will have 12 gigs of RAM joining the Pro lineup, while the iPhone 17 will have only 8 gigs. The USB-C port won't be centered, but shifted closer to the rear of the device because of its thin design. The speaker grills have been simplified with just 2 holes on either side of the port instead of the normal 5 speaker holes. The Air will also have MagSafe with the potential to support 25-watt wireless charging, but that hasn't been confirmed. It will reportedly have a camera control button and an action button based on dummy models out there. We've seen that in previous models. Also, a screen protector leak revealed the camera on the 17 Air might be located to the left side of the dynamic island instead of the right like the iPhone 16 models did, and this could be because of its components and how they're arranged on this smaller device. A recent report claims it will have a 3,000 milliampere hour battery and with its power efficiency from new hardware and iOS 26, but there are concerns with how good its battery will really be because it's just so thin. But if you're constantly around a charger like most people, it might not matter. Now, one report claims it will be able to have a full day of battery, so we will see. So what's the colors? 17 Air is expected to come in the standard black and white, a light gold, and a new light blue. This new light blue is reportedly lighter than the light blue of the iPhone 17 and similar to the shade of blue on the current M4 MacBook Air. The iPhone Air will reportedly be priced at $899 to possibly $949 based on the latest reports, so that's $50 more than last year's 16 Plus. But even if you don't care about the iPhone 17 Air, this is an important part of a new direction of iPhone products, and getting it this thin has already helped with learnings that Apple can take to the development of their first foldable iPhone, which is expected next year in 2026, which will be coming out over 7 years after Samsung put out their first Z Fold, and now it's just swooped in to be arguably the best mobile device for 2025. It is for me. Now, I've said this a bunch. I know I'm going to love the 17 Air design. In its ultra slim body, it's going to feel great in hand, but I need that ultra wide camera functionality. I'm not the only one. Maybe they surprise us, but the rumors and leaks are generally too good now, so that's what we know about the 17 Air until Apple's announcement. All right, now on to the flagship iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max. The 17 Pro and Pro Max will still measure at 6.3 and 6.9 inches for the display. A new rear design will bring the biggest camera bar booty bump we have ever seen from Apple that extends across from side to side and is made from aluminum instead of glass. I'll say this, I think that might be the least appealing Apple camera design I've seen, and my hope is that camera does some really great things because it doesn't look that good to me. This horizontal camera chunk, that'll be balanced out by an area underneath it with half glass and half aluminum design, with the Apple logo reportedly moved down into the middle of the lower glass area to center it. Now that separate section will still allow for wireless charging, but inside that camera bump will be an upgraded 48 megapixel telephoto lens with an expected 5x optical zoom, but we've heard some reports that it could go up to an 8x optical. And that infrared heat map style Apple event logo, that might hint at something more with the camera or not. Let's hope it's more. Now the wide and ultra wide will still be 48 megapixels and the front facing camera will be upgraded to a 24 megapixel camera across the entire iPhone 17 lineup. One report claims native 8K recording could finally come to iPhone and a new dual recording feature that would allow users to record front and rear video simultaneously. And it's a feature that I really want for this idea of citizen journalism or taking videos in the moment and seeing both sides at the same time, maybe even getting rid of the video frame and just superimposing you on top of the main video, doing it real time. Now reports claim Apple may move off of the titanium frame and instead go back to using aluminum for this year's Pro phones. Apple's A19 Pro chip is built on the latest 3nm technology and we are expecting performance and battery improvements. Now the iPhone 17 Pro Max could have the biggest iPhone battery to date with a capacity of 5,000 milliampere hours for its beefiest battery. The 17 Pro models are expected to support 25-watt wireless charging, again, if the feature makes it to the lineup. Apple will still be using Qualcomm's Snapdragon X80 modem for the Pro phones that could be optimized for longer battery life. Qualcomm's modems also support both flavors of 5G, so that's 6 GHz 5G and millimeter wave 5G connectivity. So what about the colors? The iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max are expected to come in black and white and gray, and two new colors, a dark blue that could be similar to the iPhone 15 Pro's blue titanium, and the buzzworthy orange. This would have that deep metallic look to it, I hope. There's been rumors about a new mystery surprise color for the 17 Pros that would act like the liquid glass design in iOS 26 and maybe change colors depending on the angle you hold it at. It would be white, but have that little, I guess, iridescence and change of color depending on how light hits it. Maybe it's more like a translucent looking color, but as we get closer to the announcement, I'm feeling that we won't see anything like that. It's almost too risky for Apple when it comes to colors, but hey, I hope they surprise me. And Samsung fans, y'all are giggling right now. Just go look up Aura White from 2019. Now, the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max at this moment are expected to be starting at $999 and $1,199, but one report recently said that the iPhone 17 Pro could jump up $100 more to $1,099 because it will come with a base storage of 256 gigs. So that is what we are expecting for the entire iPhone 17, 17 Air, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max lineup. All right, let's turn things over to the Apple Watch now, right? And this time around, all eyes will be on the Apple Watch Ultra 3 after waiting 2 years for a significant upgrade to the Ultra. We're expecting a slightly larger display at 422 by 514 resolution for the Ultra 3 in the same case size. Apple is also rumored to be using a wide-angle OLED display panel for the Ultra 3 that enables it to be brighter when viewed from an angle, and it will also have higher refresh rate for an always-on display mode. Health sensors, really the biggest improvement that we've been waiting for when we're talking tech, and the Apple Watch has been aiming to bring blood pressure monitoring in time for the Ultra 3. It will reportedly not give exact readings, but detect blood pressure trends and then offer recommendations to seeking out medical help if it finds any issues. We know blood pressure monitoring still has not been confirmed at the time of this video, so that's why we will wait for the actual event. Now, the new Ultra will bring satellite connectivity for sending and receiving text messages when you don't have a Wi-Fi or cellular connection. I love bringing this phone feature now to the Ultra 3, and this is a huge upgrade for people who go off the grid but still need some form of communication for emergencies or loved ones. The Apple Watch Ultra 3 is also expected to get 5G support for the first time, which would be an upgrade from its current LTE connection on the Ultra 2. Apple recently leaked some internal information about the upcoming chip in the Apple Watch Series 11, Ultra 3, and Apple Watch SE 3. It will have the same T8310 architecture that's in the S9 and S10 chips found in the Series 9 and Series 10 Apple Watch models. It has 2 sawtooth performance cores that are found in the A16 Bionic chip. That's more than enough power. It's a 64-bit dual-core processor with a 4-core neural engine, second generation ultra-wideband support, and 64 gigs of storage. So don't expect any significant change in performance, but what do we want the most here? Better battery life. Will we get it with the same chip? Probably nothing significant. It's a pretty good bet that the Ultra will come in natural titanium and black titanium for the colors. Pricing wise, the Ultra 3 will likely start at $799 before you get your different watch bands and however you want to customize it. Okay, next up, the Apple Watch Series 11. We do not expect a new form factor or design. There were rumors of a new magnetic band attachment system that would potentially make all the watch bands we invested in unusable, but that has gone quiet. This year is the 10th anniversary of the Apple Watch, but all signs point to nothing like a big leap in technology for it. The Series 11 is expected to get the updated S11 chip with a potentially more compact and efficient design. The Series 11 is also rumored to adopt a new modem from MediaTek with 5G RedCap support. Now, 5G RedCap is a 5G service that's designed specifically for wearables that don't demand the same level of high bandwidth on a standard 5G connection that something like our phones or tablets might require. It's also more power efficient. Now, we are hoping, but still don't know if blood pressure monitoring will make it to the Series 11 at this time. In iOS 26 code, MacRumors found that Apple is working on a sleep score feature for the Apple Watch that will take into account multiple health metrics and vitals to build a sleep score for you. Blood oxygen monitoring, That's back with a recent software update for previous Apple Watch models it was removed from, and it's a no-brainer that it will be back on the Series 11. It's also been a little more quiet for the next third generation Apple Watch SE. We are still expecting to see it this year, and it could potentially ditch its aluminum casing for a more rigid plastic casing. It will also get a new processor inside, and maybe it gets a new health feature like sleep apnea detection, which already exists on higher-end Apple Watch models. Reports say we should expect its debut alongside the Apple Watch Ultra 3 and the Series 11 when they're announced at this September at Apple's fall event, the one that I'll be at. Now, other than the Apple Watch Ultra 3, the upgrades here seem pretty tame. I think it's safe to say, based on what we know, I'm coming into the event knowing what to expect and hoping Apple surprises us and surprises me with more. I mean, there have been reports that AirPods Pro 3 will be announced at the event, but I did a full breakdown of them in my last video if you want to check that out. But that's what we expect to see at Apple's awe-dropping event. And if it's going to live up to that name, I think we need to see more than what we know right now. And you know what, before we go, we got to give a big shout out to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, the teams at Mac Rumors and 9to5Mac, and other individuals, Sonny Dixon, Majin Buu, who have really been the ones reporting on all this so we could package it all up for you in one place. Because you got to give credit where credit is due. All right, that's going to do it for this video. If you like what you see, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/Brian Tong. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you from Cupertino at the Apple event on the next video. We'll be there. How hype are you, or how not hype are you? Put in the comments. I want to see, because we'll see what happens. Maybe they will make my awe drop. Does that sound right? Okay, let's wrap this up, all right? Take care, everybody. Peace and love.